Mejores programas en la mejor Ekoradio, otra forma de hacer radio. Ey, Ekoradio con K. El mejor contenido, los mejores programas y la mejor música suenan en www.ekoradio.com. ekoradio.com amplía sus fronteras digitales. Por eso te invitamos a que te suscribas a nuestro canal de YouTube Ekoradio, en donde encontrarás los mejores programas, el mejor contenido y podrás escuchar nuestra señal online www.ekoradio.com, la vitrina del talento latino. ekoradio.com, otra forma de hacer radio. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales, en Twitter e Instagram como @ecoradio y en Facebook como Ekoradio. Ekoradio, otra forma de hacer radio.
So, well, hello everybody. My name is Jürgen.
Healthcare workers are needed now more than ever. We're looking for someone unique. We're looking for you. Make your dream a reality. Where do you want to go? Get a free test and preparation. Share your experiences. Share your journey. Become an OET hero.
So, hello everybody. That was the introduction that you just could see, as you've seen, about OET, which is an exam that I'm not sure that how many people know about this exam. It's an exam for doctors, nurses, and some other professions in the health industry. So I think it's been for veterinaries, an exam for veterinaries as well. Am I right, Neil? Yes.
Yep, that's right. There are 12 professions in total: dentists, doctors, nurses, vets, being some of the most popular.
Oh, yeah, quite a few professions. So, yeah, today we're here with very interesting people. Here with Jonathan. We're here with Francis from Quality English, which is an accreditation body for English institutes, and also with Lewis from LSI Portsmouth and Neil from KELT, where you can do the OET exam. There are test center for both of the exams. We also here with Olga, who is a doctor. She's going to be, they're going to do a test. We're going to do the OET test with her. So we're going to check her level, or English level. And we might have another person coming in, another doctor called Alejandro. Something might have happened at the hospital where he's working, but let's see if he can join us as well as a second test candidate for the OET exam. So I said, well, my name is Jürgen Sjöberg, very difficult name to pronounce if you're not from Sweden. I'm the owner of Instituto Nórdico. We have done quite a few radio programs, last year, and this year, this is our first program this year. But this is first program this year, but more to come after this one. So, John, we're going to have a look at OET. So tell me about, Neil, what is the OET exam?
Thanks very much, Jürgen. So the OET exam, and that stands for Occupational English Test, is a fantastic exam for anyone working in the healthcare sector who wants to be able to demonstrate their professional proficiency, their level of English, so that they can work internationally, they can improve their vitae, and in many countries also apply for a visa, all with just that one test. Sorry, we didn't catch you there. I think maybe, could you say that question again, please?
Sorry, I had the microphone off. Sorry. So, Neil, what have you seen? Is it when it comes to after the OET test? Has it been easy for the people to find a job in the health industry abroad? What's your experience?
The OET test, I think, is taken by people in two situations. There may already be in an English-speaking country, Australia, New Zealand, America, the UK, and they're looking to have professional validation. But increasingly, the OET is being taken for people like Olga, like Alejandro, who are in Colombia, who are either interested in improving their CVs, maybe to work in a hospital that is international, or also to be able to go and work, for example, in the United States. And in the case of the United States, OET is now recognized for entry for graduate level study. So those are the two groups that we're working with as CELT. Perhaps going over to Lewis over at LSI, how have you found working with OET? What kind of people are you working with?
Yeah, thanks, Neil. Hi, everybody. What I like about the exam particularly is that before OET, if you wanted to work, say, as a nurse or a doctor in an English-speaking country, or as you said, English-speaking international hospital, you needed to take the IELTS exam. And the IELTS exam is a great exam, but it's not specific to medicine. And what's great about OET is that all the tasks, as we'll see in the speaking in a minute, are directly connected to your job. So the writing is a letter discharging a patient from a hospital. The reading and listening is about medical topics. And the speaking is medical role plays, as we'll show. And that's just fantastic for people who can use their professional knowledge to then go and work in healthcare situations. But at LSI, we're working with a lot of people in the UK who are qualified nurses and doctors who want to work in the UK system. And we're also teaching courses abroad. I'm teaching a course at the moment with Indian nurses who, if they pass the OET, would like to come and work in either the US or the UK. But it's just a really nice exam if you're a medical professional that validates your experience whilst improving your English at the same time, I would say.
And I think also what I love about the OET, and I'd be interested to see and to hear what you think about this, is that it's not only a great way of demonstrating your medical English skills, but also you might see on the OET website this word backwash used, which is talking about the way in which people who are studying for OET find the test helps them to do better in jobs.
Definitely. I think medical bodies, nursing and medical councils are very much in favour of OET as an exam because, as we said, it does test those skills. And what also is really nice is that some of the assessment is the English, the grammar, the vocabulary, but a lot of the assessment is also the way you deal with patients, your interpersonal skills and communication skills. And that's really important when you actually go work in the field. And that's, again, what's really nice about it, I think.
So yeah, I was muting it. Sorry about that. So I think we're going to leave you now with your first candidate, which is Olga. So you're going to check her level. So who's going to be the patient here? Is it Neil or is it Lewis? Okay. So Olga, please Neil, please Lewis, continue.
Should we just briefly explain what's going to happen here? Very quickly. Very briefly, this is part of the speaking test, and I am playing the part of the patient, and Olga is doctor. We have a role play card, and we have to role play that situation for 5 minutes, and see how that goes. And Neil is going to give some assessment to how that goes. Olga, if you'd like to start.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Olga.
Hello.
I'm your doctor today. So I know that you had recently a mild heart attack. So
That's right.
yes, so I would like first begin with the concerns that you have about this illness. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, so I can resolve this and can answer any question that you have, and then we can talk about another topic that is important for you now that you had this new, maybe for you, new illness.
Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you. So yeah, I had a mild heart attack 2 weeks ago, and I'm only 5 years old, so it was quite a shock, as you can imagine. And yeah, I was just discharged from hospital 4 days ago. Now I'm just really worried about the future, what I can do and what I can't do. Particularly things like exercise and physical activity, if you can help.
Well, the first thing that we have to know is that your life is going to change, but in a good way, because this illness is like a illness that you can treat by yourself.
Right.
In the most part of it, because it's about yourself, about what you want from your life, you know. So what I mean is that you have to modify some health stuff. For example, you have to healthy food, you have to do exercise, you have to control your stress or any problem, anxiety, depression. So if you need some counseling, so some psychologist or psychiatrist, you have to do it, because this is important for this illness, for you to get better in the future.
Okay.
Because if we do things correctly, you can avoid another heart attack.
Yeah.
And reduce this likelihood of have another heart attack.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
At first, yeah, I want to tell you about this cardiac rehabilitation. That is a big and important part of your rehab. This cardiac rehabilitation is a medical training, maybe, or supervised program that includes exercising, that includes some counseling, and some counseling about what? About your food, what you eat.
Yeah. Okay. So can I ask about the exercise? So
yes,
that's great, because that's something I'm really concerned about. I mean, before the heart attack, I used to enjoy sport and tennis and everything, and I just don't know what to do, because I've been told that if I had another heart attack, it would probably be worse. So what you're saying is that some specialists might be able to give me some advice about what exercise to do. Is that right?
Yes, it's that's right.
Okay.
Cardiac rehabilitation is a supervised program, as I say. So you have, for example, at first you can train under supervision of your physician. So you can train 1 hour per day, or maybe twice in a day, and you can go improving this part of the cardiac rehabilitation. You have to go to a hospital that is specialized maybe in this part of cardiac rehabilitation. It's a special program and in a special way to do an exercise, because it's not like before that you were at maybe playing football, playing tennis.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
Okay, so I need some specialist advice.
Yes, because you need to start slowly first.
Okay.
And then you can go further and harder with your training. Yes, but for now you have to do with supervision of a physician that
Right.
is specialized in this part.
Okay, that sounds good. And I had another question, which was about
Yes.
going back to work. So I work in an office.
Yes.
It's quite a sedentary job. I sit down most of the time. Okay,
well,
let's finish this little section. Yeah. So, what would you recommend? How long would it be before I could go back to work and resume my job?
at least 4 to 6 weeks after this event, because you have to first with this cardiac rehabilitation and modifying some lifestyles topics that you are going to reduce these maybe symptoms or fatigue, dyspnea, angina, that first you have to treat before you go back to normal life.
All right. Thank you very much. That's the end of the test.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Olga.
Well done, Olga.
Yeah, I feel much better. Even though it's not true, I feel better.
Just to explain a little bit about how the speaking test works and the role of two people, or in variants, of course, you've just heard Lewis being the patient in the role play with Olga, and then now my turn to give feedback. Now, in the actual exam, you don't do just the one role play, as we've just heard, but the candidates will do 2 role plays. And there will be, in fact, 4 people involved. The candidate, Olga, doing the test, the person talking to the candidate, and that's the interlocutor, and that was Lewis. And then the actual interview is recorded and then sent to Australia, where it's marked independently by a minimum of 2 examiners, 2 assessors. And then they look at the marks, they compare them, and then they decide what the mark will be that the candidate receives. Now, you heard Lewis talking about the advantages of OET compared with IELTS. And I think one of the great things about OET is the way in which it examines your being fit for purpose. It really is not just looking at your grammar and vocabulary. It's looking at a wide range of skills that doctors, dentists and nurses in order to work well. So if I just explain that you get a set of marks for your language, the linguistic skills, and then a separate set of marks for what Lewis was mentioning earlier, the clinical communication skills. So if we look at some of the feedback that we can give you, Olga, and I was really impressed by how you did. You've never done an OET course, and you went in there, and you clearly would be a fantastic doctor. If I ever have a heart problem, I'm going to come and see you.
Yeah.
So looking at those language points, first of all, the things that OET looks at, first of all, is pronunciation. And I thought what was really nice there, Olga, that you had really nice, clear sounds. There was only one word that I actually picked up that was incorrectly pronounced, and that was angina. And of course, that's one of the things that an OET course with KELT or with LSI Portsmouth will be able to give you. We can help you with any language areas that you may have. The next area they look at is fluency. And, you were fluent. You kept Lewis's interest. You spoke confidently, and that's great. The next area is what they call appropriacy. And that's making sure that what you say is appropriate to the person you're speaking to. So here you've got a patient who's had a heart attack, he's nervous, and what I really liked about the role play was that you put him at ease and you didn't use difficult medical words. So for example, when you were talking about cardiac rehabilitation, you explained that for him, and that's an important skill that OET hopes you will well as you did, and we'll give you marks for. And then finally, in the language side of things, of course, there's grammar and vocabulary. And I think, the acid test of this is, did the patient get the information that they want? Or did your grammar somehow get in the way? And the good news is that I felt, yes, there were areas we can help you on a course, but it didn't impede communication. It didn't stop us understanding you. So that's where the majority of the marks go in an OET test for the speaking subtest. If we look at the clinical communication skills, and there's lots of details I could go into there, but big picture stuff, you introduce yourself very nicely, and building a rapport with the patient is something that they're really looking for, as a doctor needs to do in the real world. You did that really nicely. You started by asking questions to find out what the problem was, and there were some nice open questions there. Can you tell me, how have you been? What has happened here? You also gave information very clearly. And what I liked was early on where you talked about organising your information, and you said the first thing is, and that again is a useful skill, not just in the workplace for a doctor, but something that is therefore examined by OET, staging your information clearly. I've talked about the good explanation of cardiac rehabilitation. I think the only thing I might suggest, and this is again something that a course with an OET premium provider, and Lewis and I will explain a little bit more about what that actually means, is that the card is there to help you and to enable you to get through the points, because if you follow the role play card in order, it gives you a great opportunity to show off all of your good language to the examiner, and also the kind of language you'd be using with your patients. So, Lewis, how are you feeling now that you've had your chat to the doctor? Are you feeling a little bit more confident as a result of a recent heart attack?
I am actually, yeah, and it's very interesting. Probably like you, Neil, we do this. Not probably, we do this in class a lot, and we do that in the actual real tests. And of course, this is not a condition I have, but I felt very reassured, and I felt that you explained things very well as well. That you, as Neil, the cardiac rehabilitation, which, to be honest, I have never heard of, but I actually explained something that I didn't know really well and really clearly, and I thought, wow, that's really great. So, yeah, very impressive, Olga. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Would now be a good time, as we talked about, how people improve, to maybe just look at what it means when we talk about an OET premium provider. Lewis, you're an OET premium provider for LSI Portsmouth. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting thing that I think is a really good thing for people to know when they're choosing a course, because OET have a quite small number of schools or organisations in the world who are, as Neil said, are called premium providers. And what that means is that we've been through a process where we've had to demonstrate to OET themselves how good our courses are, our curriculum. We have to write syllabus, we have to teach lessons and film them and send them to Australia and have them critiqued. It's quite a long and difficult process, I'm sure you remember. It took a long time, but it's actually a really good thing, because it's a demonstration to people booking a course of quality. It's not us saying our schools are fantastic, believe us, although they are. It's more OET themselves have come to look at our courses and have given them a mark of quality. Not many schools have done it. So that's why it's such a good thing. It also, of course, makes us good at doing it. We get lots of feedback, lots of input, lots of help from OET. How did you find the process, Neil?
I totally agree, and I think for me what was really interesting, because I know that you're heavily involved in IELTS as well as we are at Kelt, that this is the only exam that I know of that actually gives schools and institutes that want to offer the exam preparation at the highest level a kind of a test that is objective of their own ability to teach it to a high standard. So when I first got interested in OET a number of years ago, I thought, why do I need to do a test? I can teach IELTS and I don't have to do a test to teach IELTS. But then I realized that this was, as you said, going to improve the quality of our teams and all the people with us who are teaching OET. It will improve their teaching, and it will give candidates a really good opportunity to learn with the best. And I think that's why schools... Here's what I found. Sorry, that's my phone listening to Google. It gives them an opportunity when they're booking a test and maybe even travelling across the world to do it, although obviously we both offer it online as well. Just that absolute objective proof that we do know what we're doing, that we can offer courses at the highest standard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if I was going to invest in a course, in an exam that was really important to me, I would want something like that, some kind of independent assessment from the people who, from the exam themselves, of which schools have actually met that test to be of that standard. Because then you can be sure that you're getting excellence. And so that's why being a premium provider is really something to look for when you're booking a course. Yeah.
I know some people probably are thinking with the pandemic, does it work to study online? What are your views in terms of the value of studying online compared with studying face-to-face?
Well, so we started, obviously, like everybody else, we started teaching online about a year ago now. And if before we started, I had always thought it's probably not quite as good, it's different. And of course, having a face-to-face course is great when that's possible, because you get the cultural element. So if you're coming to study in the UK at one of our schools, you're going to be living in the UK and all the rest of it. In terms of teaching, in many ways, it's even more effective, I think, because students can do it at a time that suits them. You can record a lot more material. You can record classes and record your notes. You can really be flexible with it, and you can study without traveling. Obviously, you can take a course. As I said, this afternoon I was teaching 20 students who OET, and they're all in different parts of India. And great, I think it's in many ways it's the future. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree. Absolutely. I've been involved in teaching online before the pandemic. So we, as a school, Kelt, also had been in that same situation, working with universities abroad. So we had a bit of a head start, an advantage in that respect. But what I've learned a lot about online learning, working with OET students, and I think that flexibility that you mentioned is a really important one. Economies in difficulty because of the pandemic and the cost of travelling abroad, that actually the fact that you can save on the travel, you can save on the accommodation costs, and therefore invest all of your money into studying with one of the best providers out there, premium providers, is a real opportunity. And as premium providers around the world who excel in what they do are now affordable, maybe in a way that they weren't affordable before. And again, there's lots of different ways. You have your live lessons, you've got work that you can be doing, and when I say you, I mean the students, fitting around their busy schedules, working in hospitals. We were talking to Olga earlier, and she's clearly incredibly busy at the moment, so she's not needing to attend a particular course at a particular time of day. The timetables and the busy schedules of doctors, nurses, dentists, and when they're free. Plus, you can use things like WhatsApp. There are all sorts of ways of making online learning really, dare I even say, fun, but also, as you say, flexible.
And our OET is a very, very good exam if you're in the medical industry, if you're a nurse or a doctor or veterinary. As you said, it's about like 12 professions that can do the OET.
Yeah.
Quite a few. So, Jonathan, I know that you need to go very soon, but KELT and LSI Portsmouth are both very good institutes, and they are part of this amazing organization called Quality English. So, Jonathan, what is Quality English, and why should you choose a Quality English school?
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Does it sound okay? Yeah? Okay. Quality English is an accreditation body for independent English language schools. And as you mentioned, KELT in Cardiff and LSI Portsmouth both carry the Quality English logo. And what I'd like to do, which sounds a bit strange on live radio, but I would like to share my screen just so that watchers on Facebook and so on can see what I'm talking about. So hold on a second. Did that work? Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, that works well, Jonathan.
Okay. So, yes, my name's John Swindell. Hello, Columbia. Good afternoon. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Quality English and Quality Education. Like I say, these logos, if the school is carrying these logos, it means they're a very high quality, independent English language school. Or if they're carrying the Quality Education logo, they're a high quality college teaching academic and vocational courses in English. So, why would you choose Quality English School? Well, there are plenty of answers to that. I'll stick with these ones today. We've won 4 awards for being the best school nation. There are 70 Quality English schools you can choose from. Like I say, they're all independent. They've been carefully to be the best, highest quality schools that you could study at. And they're in 9 different countries around the world, all English-speaking countries. Quality education colleges offering academic and vocational courses in English in 7 different cities around the world. We also work with high quality agents like Jorgen himself. These are agents that are based in your country, so there are quite a few in Colombia, and we work hard to make sure that they're good agents that work well with our excellent schools. And we also bring our schools together with the agents, so recently in Bogota, and we're very much looking forward to coming back again when it's possible. So, you've heard from 2 schools in the UK today, one in Wales and one in England. We have schools in Canada, USA, Ireland, UK, as I mentioned, Malta, Cyprus, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. And there, in fact, is a picture of LSI Portsmouth. We have other schools here, other quality English schools here in the UK, Australia, Ireland, and the US. So they're all very unique, these schools. They're independently owned, they're autonomous, they're not part of a chain, but they all have their own unique characteristics. So you can choose a school that suits you. It might be on the coast, it might be in a city, it might be rural in the countryside, where you can explore the countryside and do lots of outdoor activities. So there really is a school out there that will suit what you're after. In terms of courses then, we've been hearing a lot about OET and exam preparation courses, and of course these 2 schools in particular offer those, as well as IELTS preparation and Cambridge exam preparation and so on. But most quality English schools teach general English, in fact they all do, academic English, business English, executive courses, English for specific purposes, which might be English for medicine, which might be relevant today, juniors and young learner courses, summer school courses, and teacher courses. So that just gives you a little bit of background about the accreditations that these two schools, Kelton Cardiff and LSI Portsmouth, have in particular. And so what I would say to you is to look out for the Quality English logo, and you can rest assured that that is a high quality independent English language school that's going to give you excellent levels of tuition but also student support. So thank you for having us here today, Jorgen. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here with us today, Jonathan and Francis. And well, what I really like with the Quality English School is that they are, I would say, they're fairly small schools. They are not chain schools. That's something is great about Quality English. And you might even find a lot of times you might even find the owner of the school is being in the school as well, which you won't find on the chain school. Sometimes you might find them, but it's not common. So if you got in a problem, it's much easier to solve it if you started a Quality English school. That's my experience. It's amazing families, the teaching quality. It's amazing. They are perhaps not the cheapest schools, but quality is amazing. Looking at like the installments, everything pretty much. Look at the furniture, looking at everything at the schools. It's amazing. That's what I've seen. What have the clients said about? What have students said about the Quality English school? An experience? It's a mute.
Yeah.
Now you hear. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Yeah, I've always been very happy with the Quality English schools because.
You're lost again, Francis. Something happened to your microphone.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you again.
Right. Yeah. So I was saying that. Students that study at a Quality English school, they feel very special, they feel very individual, that they belong to part of a family. Already they're part of a community, and even now with the online courses, students feel though they're getting individual attention, that they're part of the group, but also that their progress is tracked very regularly through community, through social activities. Students improve their English a lot more, meet people from the world. Any questions, they know that they can speak to their teacher, and like you say, the directors and the managers of the schools are there to help the students on their journeys. So I think with the OET courses here, they're a very valuable thing for students and for professionals who want to continue their career and to fulfill their dreams and their goals to work in an international hospital or to go and work and move to an English-speaking country. The OET course is fantastic, the preparation courses at our schools, and then also with the examinations, the Quality English schools help the students all the way through. So on the website, we've got the list of the schools that do OET. I know that Kelt and LSI Portsmouth here work with Jorgen from Instituto Nórdico. So if any professionals, any medical professionals are interested in finding out more about the courses, please contact Instituto Nórdico and speak with Jorgen, and he can help introduce you to these schools.
Thanks a lot, Francis. So, have you got any question coming in, Cesar? ¿Alguna pregunta?
Hola, Jorgen, acá estoy.
Hola.
Tú tranquilo, acá
Perfecto.
estoy. Sí, me están preguntando que cuál es la página web del Instituto Nórdico. Saludo a las personas que están conectadas a través de www.ekoradio.com. Hoy estamos transmitiendo a través de la página de Facebook de Ekoradio, de la página de Facebook del Instituto Nórdico, y estamos en directo por el canal de YouTube del Instituto Nórdico. Entonces, bienvenidos a todos, a las personas que están conectadas desde México. Un saludo muy especial desde aquí, desde Bogotá, Colombia. Adelante, Jorgen.
Pues, sí, nuestra página web es institutonórdico.com. Ahí encuentran toda la información sobre nosotros. Mi teléfono es pueden comunicar conmigo si quieren, el 311-477-4788. Y también toda la información está en nuestra página, que es el institutonórdico.com. Nosotros trabajamos total con 27 países. Trabajamos con varios institutos de idiomas, no solamente de inglés, sino incluso japonés. Pero hablando de Quality English, trabajamos con, sí, que es una organización increíble, que sí, es una organización de acreditación, una organización que acredita institutos de inglés en varias partes del mundo, como vieron, como de Nueva Zelanda, Malta, Inglaterra, en varias partes. Es una organización muy, muy buena si uno quiere ir a estudiar inglés como tal. Nosotros trabajamos con vos como tal. Cuéntame, ¿es alguna pregunta?
Jorgen, sí, me están preguntando también, obviamente lo han dicho durante el programa, el tema de la formación virtual, pero ¿tienen algún curso que inicie próximamente de manera virtual?
So yeah, I think that's a good question for you, Francis, and you, Nick, and Lewis. When is the next online course going to start? Nick, Neil, Lewis. Something's happening with your microphone, Neil.
Hi there, sorry. So, yeah. Apologies. The online course is offered by Celt. Literally can start to suit the timetable of the individual. We're currently working mainly with doctors on a one-to-one basis. And because of that, although obviously taking into account the time difference between the two countries, if someone wants to start next Monday, then they can start next Monday. I think one thing that we do need to make clear is that OET is very ethical, and we prefer working with people who are going to be successful in the exam. We won't sell you a course if it's not suitable for you. We'll try and find you another better solution. So someone who is test ready can start straight away. But we do ask individuals to go through a placement test, because that helps us to find out from you where your strengths and where your weaknesses are, so we can deliver a very personalized course that helps you in the areas where you need help most. How does that compare with what you do at LSI Portsmouth? Lewis, over to you.
Yeah, it's very similar. We have a couple of options, really. We run an intensive course over a week, and we do that once a month. And that's often when people don't have much time, but they take that week off work, they book that time off. And that's what you said, when people are very much test ready, they have the level of English, but they need the strategies and the techniques, input. We do that every month, and we do that regularly, and that works really nicely. But also we do individual lessons because we know that people are at different time zones, and sometimes people are very strong in one area and they might be very good on the speaking part, but it's just the writing that they're finding difficult. We offer sort of very flexible one-to-one classes as well, and we can do that at a time that suits people who want to do it, or in small groups. If there are a couple of people work together and want to do it together, we can do that as well. But yeah, it's exactly, it's really important to design a course for each individual person to see how long they need. Some people can do it in a week, and some people will need longer. Therefore, we do. But it's just about enabling people to achieve what they want, times and in ways that suit their work, because we know that most people who take an OET course are working as nurses and doctors already.
And I think that goes back to the joint philosophy of quality English as being among the very best schools teaching English internationally, and also OET's own philosophy of wanting to enable doctors, but also be realistic. I often use this idea of the medical diagnosis, which is clearly something both of our schools are doing. We diagnose the issues, the problems facing an individual or a group of people, and then we develop a course which meets the medical needs, or in our cases, the language and the communication needs of our clients, our patients, so that they get a healthy score in the test. And I think that's really important to understand. Sorry,
very nice.
Medical investors there. I don't think either of us would pretend to be offering the cheapest courses that are available online, but nevertheless, we're very proud, both of us, and both CELT, LSI Portsmouth, stand by the real quality and the investment that we've made in our teachers and our materials to give the best possible outcome for people taking courses with us.
Yeah, totally. And just to add one final point is that, of course, one advantage of doing the course online is that you don't have that investment in the flights, the accommodation, that all the time off work. So that's also quite a nice thing, and I quite like the fact that offering OET online opens that up to far more people, people who perhaps couldn't have afforded the trip to, an English-speaking country for a couple of months to do a course, but can fit it in over a period of time, and then once they've done that and passed, go work in the country where they want to work. So, yeah, it's a really nice thing to teach as teachers ourselves. It's a course where everybody benefits. Basically, it's very nice.
Yeah.
So when do you think there's going to be a new on-site OET course at your institute? What do you think?
I think I'll talk about Wales, which is where we're based, which, if you're not familiar with UK geography, is the west of the country. But, if people coming in from London, under 2 hours, you're in Cardiff itself, which is a wonderful capital city in its own right. We are committed to looking after the safety of our staff, our students, and our families. And therefore, the answer to that question is we will reopen when it is safe to do so. I'm a great OET teacher. I'm not sure that I'm a great magician, so it's difficult to predict. I'd love to think we may be reopening in March. It may be later than that. But the CELT website, www.celt.co.uk, we're updating on our homepage on the coronavirus information all the time. And of course, by being in contact directly with Instituto Nórdico and Jürgen as well, we'll be able to keep people who are interested up to date, and just make sure that you can travel and you can be safe. The other thing to mention is that we do have a very clear policy that if you book a course for a face-to-face program and you're unable to travel because of coronavirus restrictions, we will honour the course for up to a year from the date when it was due to start. Or alternatively, if you need to cancel and you do so up to 8 days before the course starts, then we give you your money back, because we know it's a big investment in your future, and we want to know that your money is safe with us. How does that compare with what's happening down in LSI in Portsmouth?
Yeah, I think it's very similar, isn't it? And we have similar things where, of course, if people book a course face and it doesn't happen, we can extend the period, as you were mentioning, because, it's important. One thing that I'm personally quite optimistic about, though, is that it looks like the UK's vaccination program is going extremely well, and, very fast, and lots of numbers of people being vaccinated. And that should help us be able to open up to face-to-face courses faster than we may have thought, going a couple of months ago. So, it's my mother, who's 75, had her vaccination last week, so it's quite nice. And I think it's something about 12 million people at the moment. So one in 5 have been vaccinated. So that should help speed things up in terms of face-to-face courses. Let's see.
That was a very interesting exam, the OET exam, and it's very useful, I would say. Cesar, we got any new questions coming in? Any more questions coming in, Cesar?
No, Jorgen, despedirá a Olga, que se tiene que ir. Ella nos avisó, todos nos dimos cuenta que te quiere trabajar. O sea, Olga, muchísimas gracias por haber participado en este gran programa del Instituto Nórdico. No tengo más preguntas por ahora, Jorgen.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and good luck for everyone, and goodbye. I have to work, so... Y gracias por la invitación, César.
Mucha suerte con todo.
Take care. Thank you.
Goodbye.
So I think we have covered most of the things today. And as I well, OET is a very good exam, especially if you would like to work abroad in the medical industry, to be a nurse or be a veterinary as well. And at the moment, there are no flights to UK, direct flight from Colombia to UK at the moment, but there were flights before this coronavirus, and I hope they will start with them soon. But I think it was about because of the new version of the coronavirus, that's why they stopped them. So I think I'll leave you some last words with you, Lewis and Neil. Something more you would like to say about OET exam and why you should come to your institutes?
Well, just first of all, thank you for the opportunity to talk about OET. And if people are interested, both our institutes offer flexible and quality courses. And as we talked about earlier, the premium provider status is your guarantee that what we'll provide you is of quality. So, we'd love to have you at our institutes online or face-to-face at some point, and to work with you to help you to achieve what you'd like to achieve.
Great. And what do you, Neil?
I would. You've taken the words completely out of my mouth there, Lewis. Flexibility, quality. I might add another F, friendliness, because I think as Francis and Jonathan were saying, the quality English schools are all about welcoming people into a school where we work you hard, but also we value you greatly as individuals. And for many of my students, when they come to the end of an OET course, they say, I didn't expect that to be so much fun. And I think these days with a global pandemic, fun's important. So we'll get you the results you need. You will study hard, but there will be laughter. There will be a real sense of community studying together, and hopefully some laughs along the way.
Great to hear that. And as I said, hopefully we can start to travel again fairly soon. Hopefully, to see what's happening with this vaccination, which is taking quite some time here in Colombia. But hopefully, some of us can start to travel soon again. Perhaps we need to stay in quarantine when we arrive to the destination counter, but that's something we need to live with, I think, for quite some time. But hopefully, at least the situation in Colombia is getting better, I would say, looking at, we haven't got that many restrictions at the moment, but let's see what happens. So, thanks all of you. I know that Francis and Jonathan had to leave a little bit sooner, but thanks Quality English and you guys at OET at Carroll and at LSI Portsmouth. So I say, have a lovely evening in England, as lovely as you can, I guess. Thank you, and have a good night. And for the ones who are here in Colombia, have a good rest of the day. And
absolutely. Thank you.
César,
everybody. Take care.
César, ¿quieres contar algo? que es terminar la transición.
No, Jorgen, agradecerles a todos los invitados a estar acá en este gran programa del Instituto Nórdico. Invitarlos para que no olviden seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales de EcoRadio, y de verdad que una información muy importante, porque efectivamente para un profesional tener una segunda lengua certificada con estos institutos tan importantes a nivel mundial, pues es clave, ¿no, Jorgen? Es decir, a los médicos, a las enfermeras y a todos los profesionales, pues es una oportunidad, y contar con el Instituto Nórdico aquí en Colombia, que es la empresa encargada de hacer el puente para que podamos aprovechar todas estas oportunidades, Jorgen. A todos, de verdad, muchas thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very thanks. No más. A todos, de verdad, los que están conectados a través de www.ekoradio.com, a través del Facebook de EcoRadio y a través del Facebook de Instituto Nórdico y del canal de YouTube de Instituto Nórdico, pues a todos muchas gracias. Esta información, estos videos quedan ahí grabados para que los puedan consultar en cualquier momento. A todos, muchas gracias por haber estado acá en este gran programa. Sigan conectados en www.ekoradio.com y no olviden, EcoRadio es otra forma de hacer radio. Chao, chao.
The world has changed. We have had to change the way we do things. Healthcare workers are needed now more than ever. We're looking for someone unique. We're looking for you. Make your dream a reality. Where do you want to go? Get a free test and preparation. Share your experiences. Share your journey. Become an OET hero.
Mejores programas y la mejor música suenan en www.ekoradio.com. ekoradio.com amplía sus fronteras digitales. Por eso te invitamos a que te suscribas a nuestro canal de YouTube EcoRadio, en donde encontrarás los mejores programas, el mejor contenido, y podrás escuchar nuestra señal online www.ekoradio.com, la vitrina del talento latino. La mejor música, el mejor contenido y los mejores programas en la mejor EcoRadio, otra forma de hacer radio. Ey, EcoRadio con K. ekoradio.com, otra forma de hacer radio. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales, en Twitter e Instagram como @ekoradio y en Facebook como EcoRadio. EcoRadio, otra forma de hacer radio. Estás escuchando ekoradio.com.